Okay, welcome back. This is the last part for the speeches and spoken language, and I'm going to talk you through how to start your plan. So once you have, picked your topic area, then you would move on to your template. So this is kind of my version of the template, which is your starting point really. And you can see that there are 4 key areas: topic, audience and purpose, 4 key areas of your speech, and then breaking that down so you can look at that in a bit more detail. So I'll talk you through one of mine, and just to be clear that what I'm doing here by developing the idea is I'm looking at a challenging idea from the merit, but also it's a range of strategies for structure and a range of effective ideas that I'm going to use. Okay, so my topic, I've gone for clothes influence the way people behave, and my audience is 11 to 16-year-old boys and girls. And my purpose is to inform and persuade. So persuade, I really want to change people's minds. Okay, so what I've done with audience, you can see it's been broken down into 2 sections. When I'm considering teenagers, boys and girls, I think uniform comes into play there. So I've got to mention something about school uniform, but then other types of uniforms that expands out to, so I'm thinking like the emergency services. And then also related to my audience, I'm thinking of clothing. Well, that age, you're talking about fashion dressing for music and identity and friendship groups as well. And then when I've thought about like persuading and purpose and informing here, you can see I've picked 2 key areas. So I've wanted to inform, I think, a little bit about generation dressing, and I think I could have a bit of fun with that, decades of fashion, and I could show some pictures, and I could engage the audience through recognizing some of the different fashions of the different decades. And then I'm going to be quite persuasive in the 4th section and talk about how clothing influences within sport has influenced things like football hooliganism. So they're kind of my 4 areas. And then you can see this has not changed here. I've just added this end section. So this end section is really important because it's about me being specific, so I know where I'm going to go to find my information. So under uniforms, I've broke it down again into 2 key areas. So within uniforms, I'm going to look at school uniforms, about being identity, the purpose of them, bullying, cost, fairness, equality. They're all the things I want to talk about with school uniforms. And then the other area with uniforms was emergency services. So I've put some ideas that I want to talk about there, easy to identify. It's about safety, protection. So I'm kind of saying that's a good thing. Then within friends, fashion dressing, I've put that sometimes fashion is a bit, I think, classist, elite behaviour. I'm going to talk a bit about brand clothing, I think, and affordability, and how there's a negative there to clothing and it changing the way people behave towards you if you've not got the latest fashion. And then there's a positive, because I've thought about clothing helping to find groups or find your friendship group, whether you belong to a specific genre of music and you wear the same like t-shirts that represent a band or a sport. So notice what I've done there, where I've looked at positives and negatives. And then with generations dressing, I've broke that down into 2 sections. And I think I've looked persuasively at how like marketers kind of persuade us to wear certain things. It's not even a real choice. We're kind of pushed into wearing certain clothes. And then, like I said before, I'm going to engage the audience with some like fashion pieces and have some pictures to show there. And then stage 4 with the sport and hooliganism, I'm going to split it down into positive and negative again. Sports teams, and that's about identity, division, creating teams and togetherness. But then I'm going to talk about like that unacceptability and the dangerous behavior that you can hide behind the uniform of a specific team, and therefore it creates this group mentality or this gang mentality. So I want you to have a go, see if you can pick your area, and again, test it out for a couple. If you get stuck, it means you've not got enough information. Go back, try a different one. It's a good way of testing out whether that's the right area for you.